gosh, I was 1 minute late. Hi. What's up? I did check my mic this week, so I know that it works. And then I hooked it up. Oh, man. So I hope you guys have your crafts. Or maybe you're just ready to chit-chat. Hello, Harley. How are you? You know John has a Harley, right? Actually, technically, like 1.5. Hello, Eileen. How are you? Hey, Starla. And hi, Abir and Chris. Thanks. And Chris, I saw your review. Thank you. That really helps. Believe it or not. Hello, Tracy. And Carrie. Let me think of one. Eileen said, yay, had the first like, do I win a prize? Thanks, Harley. I have not worn it since 2018. Oh, excuse me. Pardon me. Oh, Harley said my dad's a fan of motorcycles. Hey, Caitlin and Simone. How are you guys? Harley said, oh, cute sweater. I'm good. I just woke up from a nap. Gonna eat mac and cheese. Yum. Hey, Dawn. Oh, I just dropped my needle. What's going on? There you go. You are the prize, but still, seems like you should win a prize. I just have to think about that. Oof, we got sunshine today. It's so nice. Oh. Hey, Elizabeth, how are you doing? Hello, Tanya. It is early at Tanya's house. Hi, Mystic Maven. It's another Tracy from Oregon. Welcome. Hello, Margaret. Hello, Lisa. Lisa, that house I like in Georgia sold. I was so sad. Hey, Stitching Nana, how are you? Oh, is it, Carrie? Well, if I have sunshine, then it's coming your way. Hopefully it won't be like clear overnight and then cloudy again. Hey, Billy. How is everybody? We got a lot going on, don't we? Eileen said we got sunshine too in London. 2 whole days of sunshine. Such a treat. Chris said, you asked if we have our crafts with us. I'm spinning Adam, which makes me wonder how you named that dyed BFL. Well, I don't usually tell you guys my process for naming things, but I was thinking about how much it reminded me of the 80s, and I was thinking about like music that I listened to in the 80s and tapes I had and stuff, cassette tapes, remember those? And I thought of Adam Ant because he was in that really neon colory kind of wave. And so it's named after Adam Ant. If you know him, tell him. No one knows him. Hi, Bev. Tanya said, no work every second Monday, so it's Trish and Tribe time. That's so awesome. Good timing to have a Monday morning off. Carrie said, wave it eastward, please. Yeah. Hi, Cherry or Sherry. Let me know. Oh, in Nashville. You lucky. Hello, Deb and Ellen and Evie. Look at this. Evie said cold New York and California, and it's going to be 70 today. You lucky. Harley said it's sunny there. Melting all the ice that came through. Oh, no. Okay, so Tracy said after you ply, then wind on the Swift. So you then set or wash or just store in a hank. I usually soak or wash. It kind of just depends on, what's going on with the whole process. Hello, Blake. Hello, Tracy. I'm actually working on a spinning project right now before work. Oh, good. So you have to leave for work? Hello, Terry. And gosh, look, see, Connie loved Adamant. Actually, I liked Adamant, but my sister was obsessed. She had the bedroom next to me at that. No, I guess at that time she did. She had a different bedroom. She was obsessed. So I have a lot of me and Adam Ant have a lot of history that he doesn't know about and I didn't choose. But I still loved him. I just didn't love him like she did. Okay. Okay, Sherry. I will do my best. Christy said I loved how he painted that slash over his eyes. Hey, Crystal. What are you working on today, Crystal? Troll socks? Okay, Sherry, I promise you I will try. Harley said, anyone here interested in tapestry weaving? Hello, IJ. Made it today from Alberta, Canada. Gloomy, windy here, but the snow is actually melting off the roofs. Here too. I think it's the sunshine here. She said doesn't feel warm enough for that though. Harley said, I'm finding out I want to dabble in all the fiber fields. I keep hopping to and from. That's a lot of people do that, Harley. So, I feel like when you find this thing that absorbs you, then stick with it. But it's okay to follow that feeling of trying a bunch of different things. That's just my opinion, of course. There's no okay or not okay. Carrie said, I have knitting on my lap and my spinning wheel in front of me so I can go back and forth. Whew. Knitting and spinning right there. I know, Connie said makeup was so dramatic in the 80s. It totally was. And I had so much neon clothing. Tracy said, thanks, that is helpful. Would you wind again on the Swift once dry to get true yardage? I don't. I actually did I talk about this in the last video? I count my yardage when I originally wind it, and that is how I tag things. And I just take that into account when the fact that I tag it pre-shrinkage. So, but I always have to have more, almost always, I have to have more yarn than a pattern calls for because like John is quite tall, I'm quite tall, so I'm always making sleeves longer, sweaters longer, even hats I've had to make longer before. So I am generally like a 10 to 20% more yarn than the pattern calls for anyway. So, Chris said he's still touring. Are you, where? What? Like in Reno? Where is he playing? Tahoe? Okay, so Crystal said I'm finishing up the mittens I had abandoned. That's cool. Abir said spent the day organizing my capsule wardrobe ideas for my tailor. How nice is that? Is that for traveling? Okay, so Valerie said, hello, Trish and Tribe. I'm hand quilting today. Oh, how nice. One of my applique quilts. Carrie said, and chocolate and tea to my left. Oh, gosh, you really don't have to move. Chris said, Valerie, would you show us a picture of your quilt on Facebook? I would really like to see it. Yes, Connie said the hairspray too. The hairspray. And the teasing and the perms. It was a magical time. Eileen said, finished my Leicester Longwool sample. So soft. One of those breeds I tried. I want to have a sweater of. Well, I hope that you spin yourself a sweater. That would be so awesome. I love how, like, you get that. I know we talked about it last week. That kind of luster off of it. It's so pretty. Harley said, Kate Clark, me either. I just keep watching videos and staring at the looms. Thinking about getting an Eris tapestry loom, maybe. No problem, Tracy. You know what? I feel like I am kind of unusual in that way, that I don't stress that much about shrinkage. I also think, and I'm probably wrong, so it's just in my brain, that when they measure commercial yarn, they're probably also like not stretching it, but putting some amount of tension on it in some way. But maybe that's just a mental thing. I don't usually run out. It's pretty rare. It's pretty rare. Okay. Oh my gosh, Rhonda. Rhonda, I haven't seen you in forever. I've seen you on Facebook. Terry said, I'm going crazy and tired of balling yarn for my scrap gans. I am sorting all my leftovers. It's coming up in a video. I'm going to weave with them, but I'll tell you that I can relate to that because they're like rolling all over my kitchen table right now. It's fine. Abir said yes for my trip this summer to Toronto. Yeah, that's what I figured. That's so nice. What a smart idea, too. Make it nice and simple and everything goes together. Oh, Valerie's not on Facebook. Desiree said, teaching myself how to knit, working a very beginner scarf pattern. That's a good idea. That's a really good way to start, Desiree. Tracy said, sadly, my phone is dying. We are out for a drive. Sorry, Tracy. We'll see you soon. Yes, Rhonda said, y'all, because she is in Texas. You're in Texas, right, Rhonda? Y'all. There have been some seriously gorgeous projects being shared on the Facebook group lately. There really have. There's been so much. Desiree said, I saw a knit shawl, yours truly, summer on Ravelry. Simply gorgeous. I guess I'll have to look at that. The pattern's called Yours Truly Summer. Chris said, oh, Adam's current tour is on hold. Whoops, that was Freudian, wasn't it? So he's old. Hi, Lisa. Harley wants to know how are you liking knitting so far? Tina said spinning tweed from Blue Moon alpacas. Obsessed. I don't know if I have. Oh no. He has taken ill with fatigue. The tour was called Antics. Poor Adamant. I'm curious how old he is now. Hi, other Brenda. Brenda Wright, how are you? Mary said, yay. Mary, how are your puppies? I saw a quick picture. She said, I made it today only for a bit, though it's sunny and melting outside here too. Thank goodness. And Eileen said, I now am spinning for my first homespun sweater. Bought 500 grams of Shetland last week when World of Wool had it on offer, aiming for a 3-ply DK. Oh, that's going to be really nice. First 2 balls of 50 grams done. That is so exciting. Your first one is so exciting. Oh, Desiree said, your scarf, you mean? It was listed as a knit-along? Yep, Lisa Smith. That's good advice. She said, if you get tired of the beginner scarf, try a dishcloth. You will be done faster. Oh, that's not so bad, Christy said. Adamant's only 58. Carrie said, y'all is such a useful word. It is. And you know what? People do say it here, just not nearly as frequently. She said, I lived in Norfolk for 3 years, and I still use that word, even though it's been almost 20 years. Yes, Desiree, you're right. She said, knitting is harder. I can't undo my mistakes as easily as crochet. Oh, Crystal said Adam Aunt is 67 years old. I don't know. I have to think about this. So my sister was 5 years older than me. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so yeah. Eileen says the same thing. He's 67. Can you believe that? I guess, yeah. She said he looks like a cleaner version of Jack Sparrow. We're glad you're here too, Brenda. Brenda said, so glad to be here with you all today. Oh, the shawl. Oh, I see. Okay, thank you, Desiree. Harley said you can also sew little pouches out of knit strips. Yes, you can. I was working on a scarf and changed my mind and just sewed it into a pouch with the tails. Oh my gosh, Eileen, you're doing this all on a drop spindle. Of course you are. I knew that. Yep, okay, Chris said, sorry, 68, 67. I was surprised because that would make him so much closer to my sister's age, the super fan of his, than I would have thought, but I didn't really think too hard about it. Karen's a Texan too. So we were just talking, John and I were just talking today about maybe needing to, me maybe having to go visit my mom in Arizona, and I think I will drive through a little piece of Texas if I do. She always did. I don't know. Okay. So Karen said, also another text in. Kay said, is that a painting of daisies in the background? It is. It's not a painting. It's wool. I got this. I can't get it. I got this at the Michigan Fiber Festival last year, and the lady that makes them, she doesn't, it's not felted. I don't know. Am I getting too much glare? It's not felted. She basically like paints with the wool. Isn't it so cool? I think her name was Oksana Ball. I know it's Oksana. And I just had to buy one. It was kind of a splurge. I had to buy one. Ooh, because daisies are my favorite. But she had these ones. I'm struggling here. Hello. She had these great big poppies. And I really wish I could have afforded those. But honestly, I didn't have that kind of money to spend. But I loved it. Evie said, I can't get the hang of knitting, so I'm going to stick with weaving, spinning, and no felting. I feel like that's enough. Sheesh. And you know, you might someday try it again and be like, have it click for you. You never know. Harley said, I was born in Texas. Y'all is a spiritual level thing that's ingrained in us. Right. Rhonda's a Texan. Desiree. Oh, no. Crystal said to Desiree, you will learn to fix mistakes eventually. You will. Do a lot of Google about how to read your knitting and dropping stitches back to correct a mistake. Chris, it's fine. It doesn't matter. It's fine. Oh, Carrie said your nose ring looks really cute. Thanks. It is, it's still hurting a little. And I don't know if you guys know this, but they put a very long post in case you get swollen. So like, it's really a weird thing. Sometimes it's like sticking out. What is going on over here? Hello, Kathy. How are you? Yep, daisies are my favorite. There's tons of them in our front. I've been adding them every year. Tons of them in our front. I'm gonna split them again this year, and just keep adding them because they're so happy. I love them, and the bees really like them. Yep, Kay said that is awesome. I know, I really like it. I wish I could have afforded the big one, but you know, like I said, daisies are my favorite, and it was like one of the ones that was the size that I could fit in a budget. So, hey Alice, how are you? Oh, Connie said, I'm in Alabama now. Y'all is a mainstay here. Yes. Yes, it sticks out sometimes, and then I push it back in. It's been really weird. But I had it pierced before. I mean, I've said it before, but I'm sure a lot of people don't know this. I had it pierced before we even moved here, and I kept washing my face and ripping it out with the towel or the washcloth because it was the kind with the corkscrew end, and it was awful. So I just said never mind, and I left it out the second time. So whatever. But yes, I'm excited, and I'm looking forward to it being able to change it and stuff. But you know. Oh my gosh. Dawn's got buttercups already. Okay, Karen has seen the wool paintings before. I think I need to look up how to do it. It's really interesting. I don't know if I ever would do it, but I kind of like to understand how it was done. Carrie said my middle kid just got theirs pierced and their jewelry does the same thing. What are you going to do? He even said to me, maybe this is too much information, but he said my nostril was so small, he was having trouble getting his finger in there. I was like, thanks. Thank you. Okay, so Alice says she's too lazy for jewelry now. I hardly ever wear it, so we'll see what happens. Maybe it was just a whim. Yes. Okay, so Starla recommended to Desiree check out Elizabeth Zimmerman. She really took the fear out of how to fix errors and drop stitches. I love her stuff. And hi, Tessa. I'm glad you finally did too. Wait, so is Tessa also in Texas? Yep, Mary said I like daisies and zinnias. They're so happy. I have a few favorites. Like I really like cosmos too. They get so big and bushy and just like wild, and I love that. But I haven't bought any of those seeds yet. I got a ton of seeds for my garden though. I'm so excited. Oh, Carrie said I had a beautiful opal professionally put in and then had to take it out for an MRI and lost the back. That's terrible. It hurt. It did hurt. I'll tell you what, I wanted to punch that guy right in the face. I didn't, though. So don't worry. That's why I'm not in jail. Because I'm sure they would call the police on me. Rhonda said when I was growing up in Virginia, the crocus were always the first to bloom. I have quite a few crocuses. So, and last year I dug them up and split them and moved them around. So hopefully we'll have more. Chris has azaleas already. That's right, Crystal. I can't be upset about that one. Jasmine said late to the party, but hi, hello. I did see an opal as my choices, and you know what? Now I wish I had picked something not faceted, but I'm stuck with it for 7 more weeks, so. Karen said I'm in Oklahoma too. My grandparents were here, and I've been here for 30 plus years now. Oh my goodness. Chris asked, did the new hole? I don't know. I let him pick because I don't really know where I wanted it. I think it's probably in the same place. Connie said my youngest daughter has the whole kit to do piercings. I could never do it. I can't see myself poking holes in people. Okay. Well, welcome, Tessa. I think this is your first time, right? Rhonda said we had ice yesterday and it'll be almost 80 on Tuesday. You lucky. That's right, Alice. I can't even really do my own, but. Desiree said, thanks for the help. There are so many knit shawl patterns that I would love to knit. Well, you'll get there. Carrie said, would they let you do the live from jail? Maybe. I highly doubt it. And you know what? It would get me out of jury duty. Just saying. Terry said I had my nose pierced. So many of you guys, I'm surprised, with a really cute pink rhinestone, but I have sinusitis, which means I get sinus infections all the time, and I had to take it out. You poor thing. Valerie said I'm in North Carolina, and my crocuses, hyacinths, and daffodils have started blooming. Oh my gosh, I am so jealous of all of you. Hello, Rico. Simone said, today I found a video by Sweet Georgia on how to do brioche, giving it a try. Oh my goodness. Okay, so Connie was born in Oklahoma and Tulsa and grew up in Muskogee. I don't know. I live close to Muskegon, so I want to say it. Oh, ooh. Chris said my daughter has a septum piercing. I keep thinking about the Warner Brothers bull. I just think it would hurt so much. Jasmine said, as a previous piercer, I did not know. They typically will avoid re-piercing through scar tissue unless it doesn't feel dense. I'll tell you. I don't know what you mean, Carrie. He poked around. He could not figure out where it ever even was before. So I don't know. I don't know for sure. Carrie said, did you officially get called? I got the letter, so I have to check in every night. So, I mean, is that what you mean? Or do you mean, did I check in and they said I have to show up? Because that's not till March. Oh my gosh, I have to tell my mom about that. Oh, shoot. Okay, Mary said I have below zero wind chill warnings and 4 foot drifts last 4+ foot drifts. That's crazy. Last weekend and melting this weekend. Jasmine. And good on you for not punching him. Trust me when I say your piercer understands you're in pain and doesn't hold your desires against you. He was nice, but he was like, take a deep breath in and out, and then it was over. So he did fine, but it hurts. Jessica says, Jessica, welcome. This is my first time here too. I haven't remembered until after the fact since I subscribed. Deborah said I was gifted a rigid henna loom and watched your denim rug video. What is the warping tool with the dowels called that you used in that project? It's called a warping bar. I can't believe how many of you guys have had nose piercings. Patty said I had my nose pierced but I had to take it out for nursing school back in the day. Oh gosh. Okay. Harley said I'm in Northeast Oklahoma, so I know those places, Connie. And Abir said my mom pierced my ears when I was a newborn using a sewing needle. I guess we can't ask if it hurt because you probably can't remember, right? Oh, Elizabeth, I'm sorry. I wondered about that because you said you wished you could. And I wondered but I didn't want to be nosy and ask. You know? Carrie said, I meant, do you have to show up and solve a murder? I don't know what's going to happen. You just call every night and they tell you whether or not you have to show up the next day. But I will tell you guys, and it is a crazy story. I know someone from many years ago, it's not a friend, who is waiting to go on trial in that county, in my county, right now. So, like, potentially, it's possible. I could show up and it could be him as the defendant. It's a little weird. And it's a really gross crime. Alice said, please don't be jealous of me, Trish. We're back in the 80s in Florida. And with the humidity. Oh, I'm sorry. I love Florida. I don't care what people say. I know, I'm just kidding. Diane said, hello, Trish. I'm interested in learning continental knitting. Can you recommend a YouTube channel? Have you taught it, and how did you learn? I taught myself from a book. I don't know of a channel. I taught myself from a book in like 1994 or 6, maybe. That's okay, Lori. You're not late. You're right on time. Yeah, and we have a lot of tattoos. I am so surprised. Taylor said, I've been rigid heddle weaving for a while and trying to decide on moving to a table loom or floor loom. I can't decide. I mean, they're pretty similar, so it's more like a space thing, really. I do think it's nice because you throw your shuttle with your hands to be able to use your feet to change your shed. But, you know, if you don't have space, you don't have space. Oh yeah, Harley said, I just learned about Norwegian Pearling and I'm looking forward to trying it. It's supposed to make purling for continental knitting easy. I have tried it, and when I do it, my tension's different. Oh, Evie also got her ears pierced with a sewing needle. Chris said, would that recuse you? I think that they would want to get rid of me. I mean, I wouldn't think they would want me because, like, I've already heard stuff about it from other people, and I was totally shocked and amazed, and also I think he did it. So they're not going to want me on that jury. But I was shocked and amazed and also not shocked and amazed, if you know what I mean. Connie said, no, Harley, I haven't been back in about 20 years, and that was to take my kids to Ren Fair in Muskogee. Crystal said, if that happens, then you tell them you know the person and they send you home because you wouldn't be a good juror. I think that's it. Right. Rhonda said, yes, that would get me out of it. I mean, it would be a crazy, super, It's been like 2 years though. He's been waiting to go on trial because, things are slowed down in our court system because they closed for COVID. But wouldn't that be like the most insane? Would be so weird. Karen's got 3. 2 are quite large on my thighs. My daughter's 18 and already has 6 tattoos. One of our sons has the coolest on, I think it's on his calf, and it's like a kraken coming out of the ocean, like stormy ocean in a boat. Or a ship, I guess. It's so cool. Margaret said, I used to use a smaller needle to purl than I use for the knit stitch. I seem to be more even now. So you had to keep a smaller needle with you like all the time. Hi, Lori. 9 Celsius, 48 Fahrenheit in Vancouver. That's not too bad, right? Oh, okay. So Rhonda said, Harley, I've been watching Arna and Carlos do the Norwegian Pearl and it's confusing to me. If you just watch it and like start practicing it, all of a sudden you're like, it just clicks. But my tension is different, so I can't do it. But I do like it. It's so nice and simple. Yep, Harley said I want tattoos. I can't decide where to place them. Because it's permanent, it can be very hard to make that choice. Jennifer likes combined purling. I don't even know that. Oh gosh. Deb said I pierced my husband's ear with what's a coaster pin back in the day? He still remembers. Jennifer Smith said where my pearls sit backwards. Yes, but it's the only thing that doesn't make my hands hurt when I pearl. That's a bummer. Chris said, I've been trying to slow down your feed to see how you hold your left hand. I can't figure out what you're doing with the middle finger. I knit this style already, but you are more efficient. Me? Yeah. I kind of push each stitch up and then I lift my finger and push the next one, but it's just automatic. I don't even really realize I'm doing it. Janet said, hi Trisha, have you ever tried to dye yarn using alcohol inks or Sharpie markers and rubbing alcohol? I have not, but I would kind of like to try with alcohol inks, and I have a ton of them. I've never even considered it. Rhonda Harley says Very Pink Knits has a good video. I'm sure. Elizabeth loves Norwegian Pearl. Margaret said most of my knitting is flat. So one needle to purl and one to knit. I get you. Jennifer said, I think that's where I learned too. Thanks, Harley. I'll check it out. Rhonda said, oh gosh. Yes, do, Deb. I don't know what that is. Karen said, anything you want to do, just practice 5 minutes a day. When it clicks, you'll be good. I agree. And I always say, don't practice more than 15 because that's where a frustration starts to set in. For me, I guess everyone's different, right? Jasmine says, question. I've recently become obsessed with trying neon yarn, but I'm tempted to try dyeing it myself. It would be my first time dyeing overall, though. Are neons harder to dye compared to others? If you're going to use acid dyes, there are some people who say that they're harder to get them to fix, but I have not had trouble, and I literally dyed 6 neon colors today. I would say I have to heat a little longer, but that's it. Jessica said, would Norwegian Pearl work for reverse stockinette to get rid of the ladders between needles? I don't think it would make much of a difference for that, but I could be wrong. Okay, Eileen said, I know I say this every time, but try looking up combined knitting. So much easier. Hello, Teresa. Oh my goodness. Abir said, I've been watching Inked. Which one is that? On YouTube, whilst I knit. And boy, is the tattoo world wild. I feel like that does ring a bell for me. Brenda said, Deb, I pierced a couple of friends' ears and got a second piercing on my own. when I was in junior high. You know what? I did pierce my own. Gave myself a second piercing, and I don't use it anymore, but there is scar tissue like crazy. It probably wasn't a good idea, but I was full of bad ideas in junior high. Very full. Betsy said I'm in love with Portuguese style knitting. I don't know why I can't get that out. Jennifer said I am trying dyeing some concrete castings with some of my acid dye that I didn't use. That's interesting. I wonder how that'll work. Concrete might be... Have you tried it already? Because the acid might eat some of the ingredients in concrete. Chris said Easter egg dyes have just shown up. If I use them on wool, should I use vinegar as the mordant? Yes. I mean, you could use citric acid too, but vinegar works. Jasmine said, what brand neon do you use? And I heard that too about heating longer. Some people advise extra acid as well. Do you find you add more citric acid or vinegar for neons? Thanks, Harley. Okay, so literally it was this morning, which is just so weird that you asked this question. I think I maybe could have benefited from a little more acid, but I always go heavy on the acid. Some colors just don't strike as well if you don't have a little bit more. Wait, so Carrie said, Tribe, I'm so excited. Dan is upstairs right now building shelves in my studio. I finally get stuff off the floor. That's awesome. Thanks, Dan. Evie said, when I went on jury duty, my husband worked as a cop. Both lawyers argued. The judge said I was good enough. Oh boy, what an experience. Good enough? They were lucky to have you, Evie. Good enough. Right, Crystal said you use vinegar with the egg dyes. They are just food coloring. Yes, Chris, use vinegar with Easter egg dye. Yeah, you need an acid. Yep. That's why if you dye the eggs, you need the vinegar. You just need it the exact same. So you can use whichever, but whatever's on hand. Alice said, and acid with animal fiber to my understanding. Yep. Okay. Bree said, Christy, yes, there's actually tons of baking soda and egg dye, so you need more than you think. I did not know that. I've never used it. She said, at least if you're using the pellets. Okay, Carrie said, thank you. Harley laughs. That is really exciting to get shelves and get the stuff up off the floor and like whatever, be able to organize and stuff. Jennifer said, regarding the concrete, I've done a few little tests and it sort of kind of works, but there's some variables I need to figure out. They are just candle vessels, so it's not structure or anything. Well, and I'm only asking, Jennifer, and I'll tell you why. So our countertops on our island, the black ones, are concrete. And if I get vinegar or citric acid on them, it'll like etch it, which could be really cool for what you're going to do. That's just why I mentioned it, because I have to be so careful to like wipe it off immediately because it'll etch the shiny surface. Eileen said, I love a video from a podcast channel, Knitting I Loved, called Knit and Pearl, Continental and Eastern European style. Really explains the pros and cons well and shows how to really clear. That's really good. I might have to watch that. I used to fight my purling so much, and I've tried like every different way. I taught myself to knit Portuguese, for that reason, because the purl is so much easier, but then the knit stitch gets all fumbly for me. So I figured 6 of 1. Rhonda said if you wait until after Easter, the egg dye goes on clearance and you can sometimes pick it up for 20 cents a box. Chris said y'all want to do a team fun. Wouldn't it be fun to get a little pack of Easter egg dyes, 1 skein of wool yarn, and show our results? Carly said, I do only Portuguese knitting now. I kept losing the pin, so I just draped the yarn around my neck. That's what I was doing. I was just draping it around. Right. Chris said, I've never done it and takes no special equipment because it's all food safe because of your eggs. Yep, I've done the Kool-Aid too. It's kind of fun. Crystal said, oh, I get it. I got a dedicated dye pot. Alice said, that makes me wonder if you have a blend of animal plant fiber, how would you dye it? Maybe while it's still fiber and before spin. I don't know. So you could dye it before if you really want them to be like, they're still not going to be identical. I shouldn't say that. What usually people do, because we dye a lot of like blends that have bamboo and different things, they take different amounts of dye. So the bamboo, if you use an acid dye, will have less. I've never seen anybody dye like a blend, that kind of blend with the fiber reactive, so that really only the bamboo takes color. So I don't know what would happen to your wool. Thank you, Eileen. Eileen's going to put a link up on the Facebook group page. Connie, to the different knitting styles video that we just talked about. So you can check it out. Anybody that wants to check it out, and I will definitely be checking it out. Connie said, Trish, I've been practicing your no-looking knitting with some Jacob. I'm getting better. That's awesome. So you just have to practice. And before you know it, you don't even think about it. Karen said, I can do that. I have undyed wool around all the time. Yes. Same. Carrie said, Chris, I was going to do some anyhow, and the Facebook group makes it easy. So Jennifer said, interesting on the etching, I saw that the professionals use some kind of acid, and then instead of actually researching, I was like, let's throw some stuff in here and see what happens. That's the method that I like. And it's not going to eat through what you're making. It might etch a little, but it still could be really cool. So don't let that stop you. I think that I would still try it. Bria said, is it Brie or Bria? I don't remember. If anyone remembers the dragon I posted on the Facebook group a few weeks back, that was dyed by a 6-year-old with egg dye pellets. Harley wants to know where you like to get undyed yarn. Rico said, I dyed, interesting, with dried hibiscus flowers. I bought a giant 5-pound bag, so many possible outcomes of color. I did not even know that. I have dried hibiscus flowers for tea in my pantry. I used to be obsessed with the hibiscus Starbucks berry, I don't remember what they called it, cooler or something. Then I got disillusioned with Starbucks. Carrie said, Harley, I get undyed wool from Trish. She does too. I can tell you that she does. A pretty much regular, we could go on a subscription for Carrie. Chris said, Jennifer Smith, my major was old printmaking, and the acid we used on metal tore up my hands. Proceed with caution and use strong gloves. Please do proceed with caution. Alice said, well, now I have to try it. Bree, thank you. I could not remember if I'm pretty sure we had this conversation once, though, didn't we? Sometimes I can't trust my memory. I want to be able to, but I can't. Margaret said, I've just bought the new, I would like to hear how you like that. She said, I've just bought the new magnetic flyer for my Kromsky Sonata. Sorry, and the extra fast and slow whirls. Looking forward to it. Oh, goodness. Okay. Harmony, how do you say that? Artagina or Artagina in Quebec is good. I'm assuming that's a place to buy wool. Jennifer said, Chris T, good to know. I'm pretty sure the acid level I use for wool is not right for concrete, but I had some mixed with citric acid that I had all clumped up, so I sacrificed it. There you go. Rico said if they are Jamaica flowers, the hard I don't know, calyx, how do you pronounce it? Not the leafy petals. That's it. Okay, I'll look. Carrie said I'm out of BFL and Tuesday is the first of the month. I'm going to have to place a big order because I just ran out of the BFL Firestar blend and one of the BFL silk blends that I use. So I really need to place a big order. Kathy said, I think it would be cool to dye a wool plant blend yarn with one type of dye. You could get a really cool variant of color, but I have never dyed wool. Kathy, you know what? You can do that with like Kool-Aid. Oh, look, you guys, I'm ready for toe. And stuff like that, or food coloring, and try it out and not even have to buy dedicated equipment. So it might be fun to do sometime. Bree said, no worries, I get all kinds of things. Had a friend that straight up called me cheese for like 3 years. I used to have a friend that called me dirt. So she thought I looked like someone should have named me Diana. And so, you know that song Dirty Diana? She would sing it and be funny. And after a while, she just called me like Dirty and then Dirt. And I was fine with it. Carrie said, I think I'm going to try an experiment where I mix a little bit of the opposite color Easter egg dye in with the pastels to get a more muted tone, if that makes sense. Yes, I always think of that as graying it down when I do that, Carrie. So you mean the other, like directly across on the color wheel. Harley said, do you have undyed yarn in your store now? I do not. I have tons of it to dye from my store, but I have none in the store. Yes. Okay. So Brenda said, Crystal, I will get brave one day. Do it, Brenda. Get brave. Tracy, Harmony Handicrafts, you're Tracy, right? Said Artagina or Gina sells yarn and fiber for dyeing. Their prices are pretty good with a nice variety. That is cool. So if you're in Canada, perfect. Crystal said, Brenda, pick one color and throw some wool yarn in and roll with it. That's what I say. And you can just make, like, if you knit a swatch for something out of a natural color, oh, shoot. I'm going to have to restart my camera. Hang on, guys. Okay. Oh. Alice said, sorry to change the subject, but Central Florida is out of cardboard pizza. We're all going to die. What's cardboard pizza? Okay, and I really think, wait a minute, did that work? Yay. That's the way to try it. Like, just make yourself a little bit of dye solution. I know, I'm sorry. Make yourself a little dye solution and throw in a natural colored like little swatch that you knit or just a tiny little thing, and it will take away all your fear and you'll be like, this is so fun and cool. What's cardboard pizza? I don't know. Artagina. Okay, thank you. Lori. Gosh darn it. I swear I'll get it. Usually you do have to tell me twice. Okay, Tracy said, somehow I finished our trip on 10% battery. Woohoo! Way to go, Tracy. We were going to have pizza tonight. That's the plan. We've been making our own pizza forever. No, Candy, I don't. And you know what? I have been rebooting everything before I start up on Sundays, and that has worked. But all of a sudden, today, it froze. Kind of bummed. Okay, Karen said, I have one Angora rabbit. I don't find Angora to be amazing, but definitely nice. Do you spin it, Karen? It can be a little tricky to spin. Chris said, yes, if we dye with the EE dyes, Easter egg, I had to interpret that. Please post your results. Bree said, my husband and I call that garbage pizza. Okay, so now Lori said it's a soft G. I got you. That's what I was trying to say. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I really just throw something left over in there, and you'll be into some dye, or squirt some dye onto it, whatever, just to take that fear away of that you're gonna mess something up, and just give it a try. Do something really, really small. Bye, Lisa. Lisa was at my house yesterday spinning. And I'm trying to get her on the drum carder. This stuff. Candy asked what color dye is this fiber on the table. My gosh, it's everywhere. It is actually teal, the jacquard teal, and that's it. I'll see you soon, Lisa. Thank you. Connie said, I love your sweater, Trish. That yoke is super cute. I looked it up because I thought someone might ask. You can tell it needs a block. And I'm sitting really awkwardly. But it's called Wintersole. Candy said, check photos in the group. I think there's others that have done Easter egg dyes and showed pics. I think there are too. Bree said exactly, my mother-in-law gives us crap for dipping pizza in ranch, but it's the easiest way to make a $3 pizza taste good. Everything tastes good dipped in ranch. Karen said, yes, I spin the Angora as well as llama. Oh, how fun. Do you, just curious, do you spin it long draw? Do you blend it? Tell me how that works. Carrie said, how could anyone resist that drum carder? No, she did make a couple bats. But also we were chatting. You know how that goes. You know how it goes. My son loves ranch on his pizza. He'll like anything he can dip pizza into. Is that what cardboard pizza is? I don't think, did someone tell me and I missed it? Oh, man. Okay, Brenda said, I'm twisting fringe on a table runner I finally got off the loom. It's my first time. I would love to see it, Brenda, when you're done. I have only twisted fringe on the hero cowl. And I would like some advice, if anyone has it, on how the heck, if you twist a couple strands together and you're going to knot them, how the hoo-ha do you make the knots all land in the same place so they don't look all like this? As I can't figure it out. Carrie said, I do know how that goes. I made one bat the entire live last week. I keep telling myself that I need to just like spend an afternoon at the drum carder, and I don't know what is keeping me from doing it, but it's weird. Because I love doing that. Harley said, ooh, I would love to see it, Brenda. I would like to see it too. Connie's grandson likes ranch on everything. I make my own ranch, and I like that on everything, but I don't like commercial ranch on everything. It's got weird things in it. Okay. Karen is talking about the Angora, maybe, and the llama. And she said, I prefer spinning short forward. I can control it better. Blah. I dislike thick, thin yarn. So one more question I want to ask you about that, Karen. Do you card it first? Or do you just like, because I've watched so many people spin it. I have actually never, I don't think I've ever spun it just by itself. So I'm just curious, like, how you go about processing it. It's fascinating to me. Harley said, drum carders look so fun. Chris said, I hand twisted a couple of items and ended up buying that little gizmo that twists the yarn ends. Priceless tool. Yes. If I was going to twist a lot of fringe, I think I would buy that one that does the hair thing. Fiber Arts fan said, try getting the ranch powder and dust it on freshly popped popcorn. I have the ranch powder. Elizabeth said, I thought the same thing about the fringe too, Trish. I saw a video on it, maybe Sweet Georgia, and it seemed like it wasn't impossible. Okay. Carrie said, I cut all the fringe evenly before using a twister. Then I twist all the fringe, the same number of turns. Then I make the knots as close to the end as I can. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. Okay. Caitlin said, how is it going, Caitlin? I haven't gotten to spin or make any bats for a couple of months. I've been working on stuffed animals for summer show inventory. I don't know why I can't talk today. Connie said, oh, yum, I haven't had a homemade ranch in ages. What I do is make the dry mix, and then you can just mix it up when you want it, but I like a lot more dill in it than the regular mix. And my son keeps saying, like, Mom, make me a jar full. And I keep forgetting I need to make him a jar full because he loves it too. We like all the same things. He's my mini-me. Brenda said, I got a fringe twister and I like it, but I wish I would have gotten the brand with larger clamps. Interesting. Now, why is that, Brenda? Jasmine, recipe for ranch. She said, cause same, commercial ranch is uncomfy. That's it. Sometimes it even makes your mouth feel weird. What is in there that's doing that? I have it pinned on a Pinterest board. Are you on Facebook, Jasmine? Like how you could email me and I'll send you the link. As I have it pinned and I have like a recipes board. I have 2 recipes boards. I have 4 recipes boards. That's true. I have one of recipes I want to try. Then if they're great, I move them to this one of like proven winners. And then the same thing with desserts. Things I want to try, proven winners. Starla said, I have twisted fringe on a hand-woven scarf and used a bead on the end. Just make each bead line up. That's a good idea. Looks great, and then give some weight to the fringe. Chris said, when I think tie in the knots, I use a long, thick, blunt needle to help place in the final knot. So then you can control where it... Okay, Candy said, I got sidetracked. What were you asking about knots? I'll ask again in a sec. Purple said, I finally made it to a live. Hello, welcome. I'm so excited. Afternoon. Brenda said, I will make myself post some pics. I'm so bad about that. Well, I would like to see them, Brenda, but I mean, no pressure. Crystal said I had to step away, and I come back to ranch dressing and knots. Sound like a party to me. When spinning fiber braids, pre-draft or not pre-draft, everybody weigh in. I am generally a not pre-draft, but I split, and that kind of does the same thing for me. And if it's compacted at all, then I might be a pre-draft. Carrie said, I think I'm the only person alive who doesn't love ranch. It's okay. You don't have to love ranch. You're not the only person alive for sure. Karen said, I flicked the locks for llama. I don't need much prep for Angora. So just like off a cloud. It comes off nicely if you keep them brushed. They are not ready care pets. Ella said, Trish, you want to put some of that homemade ranch on your site? People in this house want to know. That would be so funny if I was selling the ranch mix, right? Candy said, oh, Jasmine, okay, yes, thank you, perfect. I'll post a link, it's really easy. Candy said fresh ranch is easy to make if you have tarragon as one of your herbs. My boards are multiplying. I love Pinterest, and I feel like you can keep it so organized, and I'm like, who cares if I have a million boards? No one cares but me. No one really follows me, you know? Oh, so Candy asked about the knotting. I can't figure out when you twist fringe and then you knot it, how do you make them all the exact same length? Candy said I only pre-draft when it's compacted, so that's pretty much the same. Tracy, I like to split and redraft a little. Evie said, sorry, but I can't stand ranch either. There's nothing, you don't have to apologize. That's fine. Candy's husband doesn't like it. Crystal, I don't pre-draft fiber braids, but I do split them or I pull them and turn them into roll eggs. Same. I do that too sometimes. You guys know. You've seen it. Jasmine, I pre-draft. It's just better with these child-size hands of mine. That makes me laugh, Jasmine. Because have you ever seen the Burger King commercials where the guy with the itsy-bitsy teeny hands holds the Whopper? I don't know why that made me think of that. I'm sorry. Stacy said, hi there, just got here, was organizing my fiber and found stuff I forgot I had. Oh, that is so fun. It's like Christmas. Bree said to spin off the ranch conversation, what goes on buffalo wings, ranch or blue cheese? I feel you can do either, but I don't like a blue cheese with like humongous chunks of blue cheese in it. That's just me. Eileen said, Carrie, feeling awfully European now. Don't think I know what ranch is. It's a salad dressing, Eileen. I think you guys call it salad cream in the UK. I know you're not English or British, but... And it has a bunch of herbs in it. And then it's like a creamy white one, if that makes sense. Because of the stuff in it. Starla says, I don't pre-draft anything. Starla just gets in there and goes for it. You know what? There's nothing wrong with that. Elizabeth said, I only pre-draft it if I feel like I'm fighting it. I knew that everybody would have different takes on this, and that's so, I love that. Candy said, I assumed people put the knots high enough and trim the ends to match. But if the knots are like all cockeyed, you're going to see it. Jasmine said, OMG, I feel seen. That is me with every burger that isn't from a kid's meal. Have you seen it, Jasmine? The commercials? They are so funny. Ugh. Alice, I think for a beginner, and I know you're new, that's a really good thing to do. Because it really helps kind of like free you up. So you don't have to like stress out drafting as quickly, if that makes sense. Rico said dill aioli. It is a little bit like dill aioli, but not as thick as I think of aioli. Isn't it hard to explain? Ranch dressing is very hard to explain. Terry said I only pre-draft if I'm using a spindle. That's interesting. Is it because, Terry, is that because of, having less, I don't know what's the word, not time, but your hands are everything's more occupied, sort of. Brenda said the clamps are small on this fringe twister and don't open as wide, so it's fiddly getting the yarn into them. Harley said I just got some shiny Firestar stuff for bats. That's so fun. I love the sparkly stuff. I'm excited to use it on my blending board. I even put them in cute tiny plastic mason jars. Oh, from the Dollar Tree. Elizabeth also has, see, we're never alone. Elizabeth has tiny hands too. Hello, klutzy girl. I already feel a kindred spirit with you. Harley said, I feel like fiber stuffs is like candy and I love displaying them in jars. That is a great idea. It is like, it's eye candy. Karen said pre-draft except for clouds and locks, which are so fluffy. Harley's in the small hands club. I'm definitely not. Starla said to Connie, I have only knitted with beads once. I threaded them on the yarn in the beginning and then pushed them to the working area when needed. Maybe try YouTube for a video. Yes, butter. I don't use buttermilk for mine though, Carrie. But yes, you can do that. Bye, Elizabeth. Yes, Molly, you made it in time. There's still like 24 minutes. After we're done today, I'm going to do something about this. Terry said it's because of my injuries and my disability from the military. I see. Okay. Okay. Evie asked, is there a difference in the Angelina fiber or are there many different kinds? I don't really think there's many different kinds, but it is different from Stellina a little bit. And there with Angelina, some of it is heat fusible and some of it is not. I guess there are many different kinds. I lied. I didn't mean to. Jasmine said, yes, I have. I try to see it as one of those instances of representation matters. Team Tiny Hands. Oh my God. I'm crying. Eileen said I like to split or pre-draft, maybe because I only spin with a spindle. It saves time spinning. Bye, Alice. It was nice to have you. Purple said, Connie, I use a small crochet hook and put them on the loop. I want to have a bead. Yes, that's how I usually do it. I've done it both ways too. They both have their ups and downs. Oh, you guys. There's nothing wrong with that. Think how fast you can knit mittens. Oh my God. Sorry. Oh. Oh, so funny. Okay. Carrie said pre-drafting versus narrow strips depending on how I want to handle the color. We were just, Lisa, when she was here yesterday, she's a newer spinner. She's not super new though. Hey, Tina, we were talking about like the different ways to split or spin roving as is and all that stuff to control the color. And I think she's not at that stage yet where she had really thought a lot about that. And it was kind of like I was watching this light bulb go on for her and she was like, oh, I totally get that. It was really cool. Starla said, I'm guessing you can't dye yarn with the fusible stuff. I don't know. People use the fusible stuff like and iron it together for some other kind of craft. Candy said, anytime someone says tiny hands, I think of a T-Rex. Just to be clear, we do not think Team Tiny Hands looks like T-Rexes. Candy does, but no one else does. Connie said, I don't think I would be patient enough to thread them on the yarn. We had to do that last year in Sock Madness because one of the tops of the sock, a whole pair, but whatever, you like knitted to this place and then pushed the yarn up. But I think it was only like 60 of them or something. It didn't take long. Chris said, remember the Firestar I bought from you? I'm using a little of that to give me a true color of each of the dye powders I have. I love the idea of showing them in little. I think that is a really good idea. I just dyed myself probably 4 ounces of all different colors. Oh my God. Carrie just said, Jasmine, I'd high five you for that one, but I'm afraid I would miss. Stop. Kathy said, I'm going to do something about my own locks today too. Good, Kathy. We'll be twinning. Yesterday I was looking at it and I'm just like, what is happening? The pandemic has let things slip, okay? Jasmine said, ooh, question on unspun yarn. Have you ever tried it, Trish? I've tried it and I'm kind of obsessed. But it's not easy to find stateside, it seems. What is it? I don't know what that is. Do I? Is that like, trying to think of how to describe it. Just the yarns that are less twisted. Crystal said, as part of the tiny hands people, mittens don't knit any faster. I'm sorry. You would think it would, though, right? Like, it seems like you can knit these tiny little mittens. It'd be great. Connie said, I keep forgetting to post the picture of the ribeye yarn. I think I missed that one, Connie. Rhonda said, my kids say I'm a T-Rex mom. That's terrible, Rhonda. Because I'm short and my arms are super short. When you hug them, can you touch your hands in the back? I'm joking, of course. Chris said, Candy, there was a cute commercial with a tree, and tiny hands. I don't think I saw the tree one. Oh, Jasmine told us she has tiny hands, Candy. And so, and she's very funny and making me laugh. Did you come to say hi? Did you come say hi? Molly's getting a blending board. What suggestions are you looking for? What type? Oh, Rhonda. Rhonda said, I'm seriously been thinking about shaving my head and buying a wig. Why do you need to shave your head? Because you could just buy a wig and then you can put it over what you have. Not saying you shouldn't. I'm just asking why. Where is the... Carrie said, I love my Ashford blending board, but I know people make their own very easily too. I like my Ashford, but it's the only one I've ever used. So I don't know, Kathy said I'm looking a little frosty. So Kathy, I have a lot of frost, but it's only right around the edge. I'd kind of like to go straight up silver, but I don't think John's ready. Okay, Jasmine said, yes, it's like pre-yarn or pencil roving, but like stupid thin, like lace that's weightless. No, I'm lying. I don't know what that is. That's like lace. I haven't tried that. Pluto Lopi, or I don't know how to say that, but it's popular right now. I mean, if it's Lopi and it's like not very spun, I've used that before, but I don't use it a lot because I'm afraid it's going to pill. Anything that's not really locked in with the spinning, I'm afraid that fibers are going to pull out and pill and get all crazy looking. Brand. Okay, she's looking for a brand recommendation. I do like my Ashford. No complaints, but it's the only one I have. Candy has made her own. Evie said, last year I made my blending board, so I was able to save money to buy a drum carder. So, I mean, looks like we definitely have some people who have made their own. Connie said, I dyed some Romney locks, amethyst and chestnut. In the pic I posted, someone said it looked like a steak. I don't think did I see that, Connie? It was on the Facebook group. I'll have to go back and look. There you go. Candy, really? Is it like a... That makes me nervous that you say that. So much of your hair is falling out, Candy. Harley said, Molly, get a paintbrush or pet slicker brushes to straighten the fiber. Use 3 dowels to help remove the fiber if it's tight on 2, but most importantly, have fun. There you go. See, Klutzy Girl made hers too. Crystal said it's just stapling, blending cloth on a cutting board. There you go. Rhonda's upset with her hair. It's been falling out, and I have male pattern baldness from some health issues. You know what? There's so many good ones, Rhonda. If you want one, go for it. I really kind of would like to try some myself. Carrie found a gray hair and got super excited. I would be excited every day. That's my problem. It is really tough. And I think, the options get better and better and more affordable. Like when my sister lost all her hair from cancer, she bought a few wigs and she was like, why did I not do this a long time ago? I mean, I'm not saying that she was glad, but at the same time, she was like, hey, wearing wigs is great. She loved it. So maybe you'll love it. Or maybe you don't have to wear one. Maybe you can just, I don't know. I don't think it's so easy to tell people they should just like get past all the conditioning we've had our entire lives about that kind of stuff. It's really hard to do. So, Lori said making a blending board is easy. You just need the blending board fabric, a piece of wood or cutting board, and a staple gun or upholstery tacks. I made mine with the tacks and a piece of plywood. Okay, Connie, I'm going to go look. Now that you say it, It is ringing a bell, but I need to go see. Eileen said, I know you can buy the brush part of the blending board very cheap, and I have thought about making my own. What gauge would you recommend for the distance between the hooks? For a blending board, I would do like a 72. Teeth per inch is what is TPI. I like a 72. I don't want too many because it's going to make it hard for you to draft. So, okay, Lori said I use 2 big straight knitting needles for the dowels. That works great. Rhonda said, I think it was me that said it looked like a steak. I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings. I must have been hungry. I will say Rhonda would never have said anything mean because you seem to be so sweet. Jasmine said, I just wonder if it's possible to find stateside as I think our local wool runs softer. I don't think that I have seen it lace weight. Valerie said, ditto with Trish. I am pleased with my Ashford still on the drum carter fence. Just don't know. It's so hard, Valerie. It is so hard to, because you don't get to try all the different drum carters and they all do different things. It's really a lot. Karen said I have autoimmune issues, so oh gosh, I'm sorry, Karen. That is really hard. Candy said, no, I'm kind of kidding. It's gotten thinner and I lose a lot daily, but I think the loss is from having COVID back in October. I know someone who said that happened to her. I don't know. I don't think it happened to me, but Connie said, no, not at all. It was funny. Like someone else said that was all I could see then. It's true. Kathy said wigs are fun. Here's our Insta ready for the day. Carrie said, I love my Ashford extra wide. Is that a drum carter, Carrie, or a board? Excuse me. Alice said, I remember that post. I think I dubbed it ribeye. Delicious colors. I love a good ribeye. Harley said I wore a cute wig while I was growing out my short haircut. I love I do too, Harley. Candy agrees 72 TPI is perfect. Yeah, I don't know where, Eileen, I don't know where, like in the UK you would get, but I wonder if you might be able to ask at World of Wool where you would get the brush material. Here we buy it at a place called Howard Brush Company, and then you literally can just put it on a board. Chris said, I have two women friends. I have told 2 women friends how much I love their hairstyles. Turns out they were both wigs. I could not tell, and they looked great. Rhonda, go try one. You can always say no to it. Like, I even see less expensive ones, and there's tons of videos on how to cut, like, the lace part underneath and cut some little short hairs, because you know how you always have, like, little short hairs around the hairline and everything to make them look more real. They have gotten so good. Aaron asked, what TPI for drum carters would you suggest? I think it depends on what you're going to do. It doesn't, Tina. You can't do them in here. And that's not me, it's YouTube. So if you're going to make bats, I think 72 is great, or 90. And if you're going to do raw fleece, you might want something a little higher. But maybe not. It depends on the type of fleece too. So it just really depends a lot on what you want to do. But I've had kind of a big range. I've had, let's see, I had 72 on my Ashford. There's 190 on my Strouch. So I've tried a lot, and I just think they're just good for different things. So it depends a lot on what you're going to do, you know. Tina, if you're in the Facebook group, you can post it there. I'm sorry. Like I said, it's not me. It's YouTube. I don't set that up. But they don't want people to come in and, you know, do the, like, spamming thing. So they just don't let anyone do it. Harley said Daisy and Fiber Company have more affordable seconds blending boards sometimes. I did not know that. Alice said, I have friends with autoimmune issues. I always think of them when I make potentially life-altering decisions. Oh. Yes, drum carter. Okay. Harley, okay. Anyone spin that Hobby Lobby bulky acrylic roving yarn and use it in a project? Is it Kay? Someone is spinning that. Candy said hair loss can happen from being sick, from a bad flu, or other illnesses. At least it's not from being pregnant, considering my age. Yeah. When I ate keto years ago for like 9 months, at the end, my hair started to fall out really a lot. And I think that I was deficient in something while I was doing that. And that's why when I went low carb this time, I was not as, I don't know what the word is. I was not as rigid because I don't really want that to happen again. It's not the end of the world, but, I'd like to prevent it if I can. Brenda said I'm still having loom lust. Just waiting for the universe to send the right loom close to zip code 83854. Make it specific, girl. If you're putting it out in the universe, make it specific. Okay, Kathy's got a question about scouring. I have some Romney and some Cormo. After scouring and drying, they feel a little sticky. Do they still have some lanolin in them, or is that soap residue? I used Palmolive. It's, especially with the Cormo, I would say it's probably still some lanolin. That is so hard to get all of it out. Is the Cormo stickier, Kathy? Because that would help you know. Jasmine said, hair is kind of wild how much it affects the way people see you. I think it's so important to do what feels right for you. I shaved my head 1 year and my husband probably still needs therapy. But she loved it. So nice not to use all the conditioner. Jasmine, you know what? That's a tough one, isn't it? And I agree. Like, you really just have to do what's right for you. And it's so hard. It's so easy for other people to say, who cares what other people think, when it isn't them. So really, if part of you is saying, like, I just don't want people to look at me a certain kind of, it's okay for you to do what you really, really want to do. Okay, Tina said, okay, I was just wanting to share Howard Brush Company makes the daisy boards. Luther just came back in. Carrie said, can I be really rude and ask you again what your large rigid heddle loom is? You told me in the live last week, but I should have written. No, it's okay. It's an Ashford and it's a 32-inch. It's just, that's all. There's no other name for it. That's what I thought. Okay, Kay is spinning some. I bought some after it was posted in the group. Oh, that's it. Spins wonderfully. Somebody else is spinning some. Starla just got a fancy kitty one. Bye, Lori. You too. Bree said, no. Have any of you watched Jonathan Van Ness's Netflix show? He has one episode about hair and how it affects us that is really interesting. Okay. Kathy, if the Cormo is stickier, then I would guess you probably didn't get it all out. And it could be the temperature of your water, that you need your water to get a little hotter than it was. But I have had that. I recently just had that. I'm working on it, kind of like working through a Cormo fleece right now. And it can get really hard to get it all out. I actually let it dry, found it was too sticky to spin, and had to rewash it. I'm so sorry to tell you that because it's a bummer. Rhonda said, I'm pretty rural, so I'm going to have to take a trip to find a wig store. I'm really thinking hard about it. But once you find one, Rhonda, if you find like a brand you like, you could probably order them online after that. And, return them if you don't like them. But Bree said the whole series is great. I highly recommend. I will have to check it out. Caitlin said, when I lost my hair from chemo, I just went bald because the idea of wearing a wig made me more stressed than being bald. Like I said, I think it's really a personal thing. And I think people are getting more used to it, which is good. No problem. Rhonda, he just went outside. We have a dog door in the house, and he can let himself out whenever he wants, and he just let himself out and came back in. Karen said, I've thought about using llama locks for a wig. I'm not there yet, though. That would be so interesting. Candy said Marley Bird has wigs. Rhonda said, I found a blending board that was a factory second on Etsy, but I can't remember. That was probably the Daisy boards, Rhonda. Yes. Okay, so Caitlin said I did shave my head as short as I could before I started losing it because I felt I had control of some part of my treatment that way. So when my sister's hair was falling out, she was at my house and telling me about it coming out and feeling really upset, and I was like, "Do you want to shave it?" So I actually shaved her head right as it was starting to fall out because she said finding it and having it come out was actually worse than, if that makes sense. I don't know. So, and I was like, John probably would have killed me, but I was like, I'll shave my head with you. And she was like, no, no, don't do that. So, I'll tell you. I mean, I got used to seeing it, and I don't know. Jasmine said, it is so hard. Funny enough, 2 years later, I got really sick, and that experience helped me embrace all the crazy changes body-wise and life-wise. Moral of the story, love yourself no matter. Try. You know, sometimes you just have to tell yourself you love yourself no matter what you actually feel, and then get it going the other way. I don't know. Candy said that's good to know since I didn't know caramel was that hard to wash. So I also have a tendency, my toxic fleece scouring trait is that I pack it in too tight and then it can't get the water and soap and everything doesn't get to the middle of the locks and stuff as much as I need it to. And then I get it out, try it, whatever, and find out I have to rewash it. It happens to me sometimes. I've gotten better over the years, but Jerry said with Cormo, keep the water hot. Don't let it cool in between rinses or the lanolin will reattach to the wool. I mean, I would give that for all the types. But yes. Oh, Jessica. I'm glad you were here. Oh, it is time, isn't it? Okay. It is time. I gotta go do something about my hair, you guys. Oh, Connie said some places have 50% off for people with medical issues. And you're right. Jasmine said, what? You'll be badass and amazing. Always, everyone. Oh. Yes. Caitlin said, Trish, that was the same reason I did it. I had friends who had cancer and said their hair falling out in clumps in the shower was the worst. She said that and like finding it on the pillow and stuff was just too sad. Margarita, hi, welcome. Say hi to Jerry for me. Alice said Florida summer is coming though, so maybe I just need to do it and save it for the Addie, given I threaten to do it every year anyway. Yes, Harley said it can take time to give yourself grace. It's definitely a learning process. I just say that, like, say it to yourself because I've heard so many people say, well, you need to change that thinking, but they don't ever tell you how. And it's like, okay, so the way that you change it is you become aware first, and then you start, like, physically saying back to yourself the opposite of the bad stuff, if that makes sense. And if you say it enough times, it starts to soak in, but it takes forever. Rhonda said I shaved my aunt's hair when it was falling out from chemo. It came back white and curly. It was beautiful. Thanks, Eileen. It's nice to have you. I appreciate all of you. Chris said, okay, thanks for the hangout. Always a great way to start the week. End one as the case may be. Caitlin, did they tell you to grow your protein, to up your protein? I didn't know that. Oh my goodness, Kathy. Did the whole fleece of Cormo in the tub, combed it out, dried, and tried to spin it. But I hate to tell you that because I get so bummed when I have to rewash, but I think you'll have a much happier experience if you just wash it again. Oh, and Eileen said, oh, before you go, press that like button. Be nice to Trish. Thank you. Yes, Kathy said positive affirmations. I've just started doing them, I guess, when I pack orders. And I was telling Carrie the other day, I was like, I'm just packing orders and doing positive affirmations. But if you think about that, that's like redundant, right? Harley said, OMG, yes, Trish, agree. I physically shook my head and was like, nah, hun, you cute. You have to. But no one tells you how, Tracy. I tell you what, that laughter made my day too. Holy cow, I was crying. Oh. All right, I'm going to go take care of my hair. But it's not really an affirmation if it's negative. You know? It's weird. I don't know. Oh, Candy, I don't. Candy said, by the way, I think you mean ever, after feel rushed or pressured when I ask if the fiber I see in your videos is new or not. Oh, that's Harley. That is the sweetest, you guys. That is. Ugh. Oh, no, it's okay. I don't mind at all. Like, I don't even think about what's here. I still have all this, I think it's yak silk. I don't remember. Yeah, Kathy and I have to go take care of our hair. Oh, all right. I have to go for real. Thanks, you guys. I really appreciate you. This is one of the best parts of my week. That's so crazy, but it's true. So have a good week. I'll be here Tuesday with a video. And I will see you guys soon. I love you. Bye.